but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say. You might get the best of him, but sure, never for me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstate boy to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college turned out me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstate boy to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I say, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa. But college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say. You might get the best of him, but sure, never for me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstate boy to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstate boy to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light light that fuse and run. I say, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in royalty. But was teaching that blind man to sing. You might get the best of him, but you'll never.
What is up, 24/7 Buff Fandemonium? It's your boy Swank. It's Sunday. It is Sunday, and it is 11:30-ish, and it's time for Sunday Sessions with your people, Scott, RT, and me. Down south right here, Mr. Ryan Thomas from the Thomas Takes Sports Podcast, live from his car just for you. What's going on, RT?
What's going on, boys? Lovely introduction, Swank. Really excited for today's game. A 1 o'clock game. It's the first, or the last, I should say, last 1 o'clock game for quite some time on this Bills schedule. So we're going to be enjoying it for sure.
New Year's Eve, right? Or something?
Yes,
yeah.
New Year's Eve.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Absolutely
Great.
crazy. Right next to me, right over here, is the guy that probably could be an Irish twin of mine. We're not, we're not. But he's got a real twin. That twin's not here. You got the real thing. Scooter Magooter. What's up, Scott? How's it going?
What's up, Swank? What's up, RT? Hey, it's a 1 o'clock game. Like you said, yeah, it's New Year's Eve, the 31st, and that game might even get flexed. You never know.
Mhm.
So, hey, we're bouncing around quite a bit, guys. If you watch the Sunday sessions, it's an hour and a half before every game, so we won't be on Sunday for a while. But just pay attention. We'll put out the events so you don't miss us. But we'll be talking Bills football. But can't wait to get this one started. Not only is it a conference, it's a division game. One we have to win. Another tough opponent. It is what it is. Yes, I said tough. It's the NFL, right?
Yeah, wow. Take a breath in there, Scott. Jesus. He's excited for this one. Guys, good morning. We got Keely in the comments. She's in Cali, and the Bills game is on TV this morning. Hell yeah. She doesn't have to watch it on her phone. Good for you. I'm so glad for you. We got our lady, Lisa John, saying good morning, boys. Good morning, Lise. We got
Morning.
Jeff Weir. Go Bills. We got Gerard Rudd. Hey. We got Robbie from Let's Talk, 716 Sports, saying I'm watching on my smart TV. Go Bills. Hi, RT, Swank, and Scott. What's up, Robbie? How you doing, brother?
What's up, Robbie?
What's up, Robbie?
Lisa's coming to your defense with the Any Given Sunday. Absolutely. Listen, I've learned my lesson after the blowout that I predicted right before last week's game, so we're going to be a little more rational this week. Well, I am. We'll see what happens. Spin 0481 says Scott lost all credibility as soon as he said tough. I'm going to go ahead and defend my boy Scott here, and again reference last week's game, and we'll keep it real civil here. We got Debbie Hooker saying good morning. Let's go Buffalo. Hello, Debbie. You look like a new viewer. We appreciate you being here. Remember, we are part of the Buff Fan Base Network. Our show, the K Gun Report, as well as the Thomas Takes Sports Podcast. Also, Sunday Sessions, part of the Buff Fan Base, which means we are sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com. Del Reed and the gang have amazing things going on over there. Just take all your money, give it to them, put it in an envelope, tell them to send you all the shirts that you can. It goes to a charity. They'll probably do better things with their money than you will. That's my take.
That's for sure.
Better than I will. That's for sure.
Better than I will. I'm speaking for myself.
So I'm scanning for the inactives, boys. Have you seen it? Part of what we like about Sunday sessions is we do it this early pregame, especially at 1 o'clock, and we usually get the inactives as they come out live for you on the air, and we love it. But I'm not seeing them right now. So
They are out.
they
I
are
just saw
out.
'em.
Oh, okay. Let me hit a little search. We are in New England today with the New England Patriots, and here we go. It's a tale of a struggling team, right? The New England Patriots are what we would kindly refer to as a dumpster fire. Bill Belichick is getting all sorts of attention for possibly not being the coach that everybody thought he was without Tom Brady. That is very fun for me. I'm not ready to write him off, but I love hearing all of it because we listened to 20 years of what a genius he is. Actually, 22 years, and now they're finally thinking maybe not. So I can't wait to dive into all that. Before we do, the inactive list is DeMar Hamlin, inactive. AJ Klein, inactive. Jermaine Ifedi, guard, inactive. Alec Anderson, tackle. These are regular occurrences on this list. Quentin Morris, tight end. That's a new name. And Ed Oliver, that's the big name on this list, I believe. Ed Oliver with a toe. I actually heard both of these guys were going to be out today this morning. So I don't really think there's too many surprises on this list. I do want to talk about Ed Oliver and what that means for this defensive line. RT, I'm going to shoot it right down to you. What do you think we got to do with this tackle spot today?
Well, it's been such a tough road thus far, and we're only in week 7, and to know that, you know, we've lost, and to not have Ed Oliver on this one. Charles Davis, he was saying the other day on One Bills Live that, you know, if Ed Oliver does play, he's getting 85% of the snaps. So this could be a case of a little bit of a heavy workload these last couple weeks, to where now we can kind of see some other guys step up, and he could take this week off, kind of get the rest in and get the recovery that he's needed to kind of catch up to this heavier workload that he's experienced, especially in comparison to previous years. Maybe we see, you know, Poona Ford, we see some other guys step up that hadn't, you know, really been given the opportunity to even really play thus far this season. And, you know, I'd love to see it out there, but I think it's, you know, I always say with injury comes opportunity for somebody else, and hopefully we see somebody else step up today and fulfill that role that he fills so well and that he's played in so well this year.
100%, man. Next man up. Scooter, we were talking a little bit about the guy that got pulled up to fill that void. You want to go in a little bit on that?
He's actually played a couple snaps already this year. We're talking about Vickers. Good size. I mean, he's the same size as our defensive tackles are now. So if you're worried about a light-bodied guy, it's not the case. He's actually heavier than a couple of these guys at 293 pounds. But experience. I'm glad he got experience in the offseason. He's seen a couple snaps so far this season. So it'll be a big day for him because if you're a backup in the NFL, you're trying to build that resume and make yourself look like someone that could be on a legit roster as well as making good money. So I'm hoping for him. I think he'll be all right because his rotation allows for rest and study time on the sidelines with those little tablets. So the Buffalo Bills will be all right with this guy in. Ed Oliver's definitely going to be missed. He is. But with the likes of Tim Settle and Poona Ford, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, next man up, man. It's going to be a heavy rotation. You know, old Billy Boy is going to try and run that ball right between the tackles and test that defense super early. So when game planning for a New England Patriots team that is faltering, there's questions at quarterback. How long does Mac stick it out, or how long do they keep Mac in there? Just, you know, I was looking at their inactives. Juju's out. Keyshawn Boot is out. He's another wide receiver. You know, Malik Cunningham's inactive this week. Will Greer's inactive. So, I mean, you're going Zappy and Mac. I don't know. Defensively, RT, what's your game plan if you're going up against this Bill Belichick weak-ass offense?
Well, I think you said it yourself there at the tail end there. The reason why the Patriots have the record that they have is because they have nobody to fear on offense. There's no one there the opposing defense can, you know, fear. We have, you know, guys that other teams fear: Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, James Cook, who I've been saying every week is an emerging talent. Gabe Davis, the 2 tight end sets. We got lots of weapons on our offense, and you look at New England and you say to yourself, is this 2018 or 2023? Is this some of these guys were good for a short period of time, but they haven't really done anything these last few years. And I mean, obviously too, you're going to expect a very safe, conservative game. They're never going to put a game solely in Mac Jones's hands, because to date, he hasn't shown that he can do that yet. And it's been 2-3 years now. So I expect a 1970s or 1960s style offense where it's just north-south, Ramondre Stevenson with a hint of Ezekiel Elliott. And that's what the Bills have to be prepared for in this game. Run defense is crucial. That's why guys like Poona Ford and Vickers and some others have to step up today and be gap fillers. As well, linebacker-wise, Dorian Williams, Terrell Bernard, they got to fill those gaps, and shut down this run game. But New England is a team that is not one to fear offensively, and I think we got to play them as such and really play them hard from the opening whistle to the final whistle.
I love it. I don't think this is quite that buzzy get right game. I don't want to label it as this anymore. Earlier in the week, I was talking, we got to get right. We got to get right. What I want is just a return to normalcy. I just want, I want the Bills to go out and do what they do. And I think this is going to be a good test for some young players, some defensive depth. We get Dane Jackson back today. You got Dane and Benford as your corners. I think Williams gets out there. He gets in the action a little bit. You got the DT depth. I want to see Von Miller, become Von Miller. I want Groot to eat. There was some opportunity for some really solid defensive play today, which we've seen all season long, but just to solidify and get some of these young guys in there and get them on the ball. I'm excited to see that. So the defense doesn't need to get right, and we'll flip over to this other side of the ball here soon enough. But Scooter, what do you got for me on the defensive side of the ball? What are you looking for today? Who are you watching?
I like that you said get rid of the whole get right game. It's an AFC East division rivalry game. There's no such thing as it's time to get it right. You play a tough football game and you come out with a W. That's all that matters. As far as this offense, to Ryan's point, there's not anybody on this roster that's going to be like, oh my God, we have to cover him. But there are people on this roster where you have to still pay attention to. Ramondre Stevenson he was one of the top 5 running backs that were projected in this fantasy football draft for a reason. They thought he was going to get a lot of touchdowns, a lot of touches. So he's someone you obviously have to pay attention to. And, guys, let me tell you this. I'm glad Malik Cunningham is inactive because I'm more afraid of him than Zappy if he were to come in. But Miller, I think it's a big day for Miller. He hasn't had a game yet where he's actually like, I'm back. So I would love to see these edge rushers and Russo and Miller create and wreak havoc for Mac Jones. And I think they can. It's going to be difficult for the Patriots to get anything going and you'll see by my score prediction.
Ooh, I like it. He's going Homer City. I can feel it already. Lou RQ, what is up, my brother? Thanks for joining us. He says Kincaid active for tight end today. Yes, he is, sir. Yes, he is. But Quentin Morris is not. So you get that little trade-off. Paulette, the amazing Paulette Brown says, hey, good morning, everyone. How's it going, Paulette? Thanks for joining us this morning. Let's switch sides. I want to talk about this offense. RT, I'm just going to give it to you nice and open on a platter. What the hell does this offense need to do to make everybody just breathe a sigh of relief today?
You know what? I'm going to go deep as I always like to. Last night I went to the Sabres game, and they played the first period, and they were horrible. I mean, they couldn't maintain the puck. They couldn't pass. They weren't shooting. It was bad. I thought this is going to be a blowout. And then the second period, they come out and they played to their identity and they stuck to it. And it got me thinking, that's what the Bills need to do. The Bills need to play to their identity and stick to it. I think these last few weeks where you had 3 solid weeks of over 30 points in a row, and you were playing to your identity. You were playing more balanced. You were using the run game to open up the pass. Josh Allen wasn't chucking it 40 yards down the field every pass play. He was taking what the defense gave him. And honestly, I think this game is so analytical now, and I understand it. Most of it I agree with, but I think simple is better. Less is more sometimes. And I think when they try to do too much, that's when things start to unravel a little bit. When they start to force things and try to make these, exotic plays, that's when things start to, kind of just unravel. And last week, I feel like it was a case of like a John Gruden versus Bill Callahan Super Bowl where Dable kind of felt like, I know what type of offense they're going to run because I ran it. And Dorsey's offense isn't much different from Dable's. But that's where the problem lied, was that Dorsey didn't adjust. Dorsey didn't make the changes, where hopefully you learn from that. You came out from that with a W. So now you have to adjust, because whether people want to talk crap about Bill Belichick or not, we're here for it. We smile at it because for so long that guy frankly kicked our ass. But he's one of the most accomplished coaches, the most accomplished coach behind the NFL shield, whether we like it or not. Yep. So we know that he's still there. He's still savvy. He's, still gritty and still, actively aggressive as a coach. So we got to be on our P's and Q's. And I think Allen has been somebody that's been Bill Belichick's kryptonite. Nobody has more wins against Bill Belichick as an active quarterback than Josh Allen. And I think this is a game where they need to kind of just let Allen, find the open receiver and maybe put the offense on Allen a little bit to kind of manage it play by play and use the weapons around him. And that's where he has had his most success. And I hope that that's what I see today. I hope that I see Allen have a stat sheet of, 24 of 30 and 7 or 8 different intended receivers today. He's spreading the ball around like butter. That's what I hope to see.
Butter.
I love it, man. I love it. I think a nice, well-rounded attack. Our boy Rob Mullen, content creator over at 247buffandemonium.com. Check out all of his blogs out there. He's got the Cover 22. He's got all sorts of great stuff going on over there. He brings up pass protection. I think, it's a big one, man. I want to see Josh have some time. I want to see him be comfortable in the pocket and spread it around. But I also want to see a nice balanced run attack. And I want to see Mr. Cook get in the mix today. Scooter, what are you thinking? What do you think this game plan is going to look like? What do you want to see the Buffalo Bills offense do today?
It's almost like you're reading my script, Swank.
You and I we got that deep Irish twin brain.
First, I don't want to speak for all of us, but by no means necessary are any of us all-pro offensive coordinators.
I actually am. Right, thank you.
Hey, it's a fan-first perspective, guys. We really give our opinions. Love that Josh Allen came out and mentioned that whole thing about coaching and playing the quarterback position, because that's the real life. That's the truth. But the top 2 out of 3 tacklers for this New England Patriot defense are safeties, which tells me that the running back and the slot and tight end receivers are getting up the field into that second level. I think, I hate to say easy game plan, but a game plan that we saw the Buffalo Bills be successful in and giving James Cook and the running backs 12 to 20 carries, I think is going to be very effective because of that reason alone. They're able to get up to that second level. So I would like to see Dorsey, all the excuses of the London game and coming off the London game and having Dable knowing this offense. It's time to show everybody in the NFL what this offense can do, because we already know it. They already know it. We just need to see it put on all 4 quarters in a football game. So I would like to see that. I think anybody that's going in FanDuel and DraftKings, I would bet high on James Cook today. Total yards, not necessarily rushing yards, because I think it'll be a game. It's 55. It's overcast. It's not raining. I think it's a nice day out. But look for the Buffalo Bills to get that offense right today. And I think, I'm not saying perfect like the playoff game, which would be very nice, but I think it's going to be a very fluid offensive game plan for Ken Dorsey.
Ooh, I think he needs that too, right? Like I know they say they don't get in the media, they don't read anything, but they say that to the media. And then all of a sudden you see these little things in the game where the players Josh's emoji during the Miami game. Like, they say they don't pay attention, man. They're paying attention, you know. So Dorsey's got to know he's taking a lot of heat this week, the last couple of weeks. And I think what happened with like Dable, the thing that I think, and I'll speak for the three of us quick here, one of the things that really annoyed me about Dable was that he'd get too cute. He'd try to like outsmart himself or try to outsmart, like, instead of playing to the strengths and playing your game and being physical and overtaking a defense, you were trying to get too cute. And I really think that is what gets us into these holes. Like, you're trying to outsmart the other guy so much instead of just playing your game, that then all of a sudden you get in a rut, and then you're playing from behind, and then you're trying to play catch up, but you're still trying to stick to your game plan, and it can go to pieces very quickly. So I just want to see an honest, physical, you know, if you want to run it down their throat, run it down their throat. You want to pass it. You know, you got the guys to do all this stuff, and it's time that you start showing other teams primarily, but us fans and the media too, man. We're not slouches. Like, we can just go and play the X's and O's, and we can win football games. Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see a nice balanced attack. I want to see proper execution, and I want to see points on the board. You know, like that's all I want. Easy. Just do that.
There was a great coach, one of the greatest coaches of all time, Herb Brooks. He said, play your game.
Yeah.
And it's so cliche, but when this team plays to their identity, which we know well, we've seen it for years since Josh Allen got here, it's evolved and it's grown, and I think it's still evolving. I don't think the evolution has stopped. I think they've swayed away from it, and I think they've almost somewhat tried to do similar things to other teams, where we just need to do what we do.
Yeah.
We don't need to do what other teams need to do. We're the Buffalo Bills. We got who we got, one of the most talented offenses in the league, and we need to just utilize the weapons that we have. You look at the stat sheets, you see Dalton Kincaid and Knox not really relevant in this offense through the first X amount of weeks. That's got to change. That has to change. It has to be the focal point, and that was supposed to be up and you know, at this point in the season, and it hasn't been yet. So I hope we see a little bit of that, a little bit of James Cook, this or that, as Marty Biron would say, and onward and upward with a big W over the Patriots, as you said earlier, Swank.
Hell yeah.
Well, RT, you have to do that, because whether you're a fair weather fan or not, you went and drafted high on these players, on Kincaid and James Cook. So it's not like we're just armchair managers over here saying this is what you should do.
Yeah.
You guys invested in these guys. So we would like to see more of it. And I saw in the comments someone say something about the Giants having the worst rush defense in the league, and yet we passed. I think that's part of where Dorsey is having problems, is some of these coaches get too good for themselves to think, well, they're going to expect us to run because we're playing against a bad run team. Well, try it out. Be successful against it. And if that's going to work, then now we know why they're the worst rush defense in the league. You got to do what works. And with this all 22 and all that stuff, with fans having access to be able to break down plays like they can now, you're going to find out that more and more of us fans know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Don't make it harder than it has to be. Football is actually not that hard when you look at the numbers and things like that. When you look at what guys can provide, and week to week, the one component that football has of value over any other sport is film study, to see what you do right, see what you do wrong. And over these last 2 weeks, I would certainly hope that when they looked at the film offensively of Jacksonville and against the Giants, that they will make the corrections necessary to prevent putting that on the tape ever again, because this offense is way too talented to put that effort out there on a weekly basis. And they know that. They know that just as much as anybody. And I think this matters to them just as much as it does. I know this matters to these guys just as much as any other fan out there. So, I've read comments like, I don't know if these players care quite as much as we do. Stop that. That's completely unnecessary. It blows my mind when I see stuff like that. We care more than they do. No, we don't. Those guys care as much, if not more, than we do.
Yep.
That's what their jobs are, you know.
It's their livelihood.
The sacrifice that a professional athlete makes from the time they're like 10 until they finally become a professional athlete, like it's insane. It literally is your whole life. If you want to make the less than 1% of people that get to play sports on a professional level, like the thing is, like, we can all sit here and use this as like a vacation from our everyday lives, our work week. We can relieve stress. We can watch this. We can care about it probably too much, and that's okay, and enjoy it. But to us, it's entertainment, and we connect to it like on a deeper level. For these guys, man, it is work. It is like beyond work. It is like you couldn't pick a needle out of a haystack. Every NFL player is a needle in a haystack. Every single one. If you make it to that level, you had to shine through all sorts of stages all the way through your life to be able to get there. And then when you get there, your average career is still only like 2 years, you know? So you got to look at it more like, oh, you don't care. Like, they don't care about this. It's not that. On the surface, it is not that easy to like depict and pick apart. Like, you have to realize that like these guys eat, live, and breathe this all the way through, just like you want them to, you know?
Right.
So good point. I liked all that. I did want to say one thing about the Kincaid usage. And I don't know how you guys feel about this. Is this part of maybe Dorsey being too cute? Is he, you know, I know we talked last season about them holding stuff back or like doing all this kind of stuff, and I'm not a big proponent of that. For me, like, if you need to win a game, pull it out and do it. Like, do whatever you got to do to win a game. But with this coaching staff, with James Cook as an example, right? Last year, you know, easing him in and you know, lightening his workload until the second half of the season, and then translating it to this year. Even like last week, I was losing my mind because, you know, I like Latavius Murray, but I don't want to see him out there for the first drive, for the first snap. I wanted to see James Cook out there. Like, if you're going to run it with the guy that you want to run it with, you know. Maybe they're trying to loosen it up or whatever. So with that respect, is this a case of Dorsey being too cute, trying to like preserve Kincaid, letting him dip his toe in, and then unleashing like these crazy, you know, slant routes and all this crap from the slot? Or is it really that, you know, they just haven't worked him into the fold yet?
I think it's the latter. You know, I think they have failed to work him into the fold, and I think that a lot of it is, you do go back to when they had, you know, last season when they were successful. They ran the three. They tried to run. I'll go back 2 years ago, and they had Dable. They had the three wide receiver set with Diggs, you know, Brown / Davis, Beasley, you know, in those couple years, right? And then last year they were unsuccessful running that offense because Isaiah McKenzie wasn't the slot guy that they thought he could be, and Davis dropped off a little bit, and Diggs was keyed in on a little bit more because of that. So no one was really, you know, meeting that level that Diggs can play at every week. So then they decide, well, we're going to try to change some things up and run a set that was successful in New England with Hernandez and Gronk and Greg Olsen and Shockey and in Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And they bring in Cade to pair with Knox. And I am blown away by this, Swank and Scooter. I went to the training camp, a bunch of different practices. They ran 12 personnel like it was going out of style. Like, they ran it every single play. And I thought, there's no way they're not going to implement this in their offense. And there's no way this can't work. Mm-hmm. And we're 6 weeks into the season, and it's like they haven't even tried it yet. So, and I'd say maybe formation-wise they've tried it, but the completions in 12 personnel, or, you know, the stats show that it has not been successful yet. So something's got to give here. And to Scooter's point, I hope this is the matchup where they're able to expose the second level of a weak defense and use the over the middle passing attempts that are needed with Kincaid and Knox, and maybe even in the slot with other, you know, Hardy and things like that they haven't really used yet. Sherfield as well, that makes this offense that second layer of dynamic outside of Diggs and outside of Cook and outside of Davis. That's the second layer that a lot of really successful offenses in this league have had. So I just think that they haven't tapped into it yet, in my opinion.
I like it. I mean, It's understandable. To that like Hardy point too, and the Surefields and all that stuff, completely not using them. That touchdown to Hardy, that will work in the middle of the field as well. That'll work anywhere on the field.
Oh, yeah.
That play will work anywhere. And if you
Yeah.
are successful at doing that, it'll open up other things. It begats other things. Begat. Scooter, we're getting down to it, man. It's 12:02. We got our routines to get to, so let's run around this circle here and hit me with your bold prediction for today's game.
The score will show this. Josh Allen, 4 touchdowns. I think this is a defense you could do it on, and it's an AFC division rival. Let's show everybody why we are the top team in the AFC. Let's remind them. It was a tough week last week, and I'm glad the teams that lost to kind of humble everyone and understand that a win is a win. But this will be a game where Josh kind of gets his head on his shoulders. He's got a bum arm, so he's got to adjust a little bit. But Josh Allen, 4 touchdowns.
All passing?
4 touchdowns.
You heard it here first, DraftKings.
You take the 1.5. You take the 1.5 with the passing touchdowns. Go ahead and give them an anytime touchdown. You'll get some money.
There you go.
Hey, if the 4 rushing touchdowns, the fantasy football people will be extra happy with the 6 points rather than the 4, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing 4, rushing each 6. It wouldn't be bad.
Oh, yeah. RT, what do you got for a bold prediction today, buddy?
Bold prediction. I think James Cook is going to go for $150 today.
Ooh,
total yards.
Ooh.
I think that they're going to utilize him. I would hope that they would utilize him in the run game and in the pass game as well. We know that the Bills' offensive line has been pretty good thus far, but last week was kind of odd. There was something missing there. I don't know what, but I hope that if the pass protection's not quite right, that hey, quickest outlet you can get it to is your running back in the flat or the tight end, and I hope that that's where you see those stats get padded for Allen, and you see the stats get padded for James Cook, over 150 total yards for Jimbo.
I like it.
Yep.
I'm going to flip to the other side of the ball. My bold prediction is that this Bills defense shuts down that Patriots run game quick. And I'm going to say Dane Jackson on his return gets a pick. I'm also going to say the young rookie himself, Mr. Dorian Williams, is going to get a turnover. I'm leaning towards a pick. I want to see 2. If you had Bernard and him out there making some splash plays right out the get, all of a sudden it's Tremaine who Matt Milano, he's out, but we got these 2 dudes in the system that is working. I want to see it. I want to see these young studs do some stuff.
Nice.
So
I gotta say I love those guys.
Yeah.
I love watching Bernard, and I love Dorian Williams. I think they love Dorian Williams a lot. I think that is a huge step forward to see them give him that opportunity. And I thought he was one of the 3 best players on the field last week against the Giants for the Buffalo. I really love watching him play.
Unfortunately, it's one of those situations. He came in because of an injury, but I know a lot of fans are like, okay, let's see it.
Yeah.
I'm excited now.
Yeah. I'm really excited for him. Really happy for him.
Lisa John says Micah for at least 1 pick. I like it. Doug Ogg says Poona Ford 2 sacks. I like it. Let's go X Factor. RT, I'll start with you, buddy. What's your X Factor for today's game?
You know what, X Factor, I am going to go sacks. That's what I think, kind of goes, bold prediction, but I think X Factor goes to that rotation stuff that we were talking about a little bit earlier. New England's offensive line hasn't been that great this year, and Mac Jones, he's got the case of holding onto the ball too long. So I think that we could see multiple players, whether it's Rizzo or Vaughn, have 2 sacks each. 2 guys have 2 sacks each, maybe even 3 guys have 2 sacks each. How about AJ Epinesa, guys? I think that the turnover machine is going to keep rolling. The power is going to stay on with AJ Epinesa, and I think that all 3 of those guys could have big days today. Rizzo, Epinesa, and Vaughn.
Hey man, don't forget my boy Floyd. He's going to run a little too.
Can't forget
that. He's on pace for over 18 sacks.
I love it.
Best signing of August.
Oh, absolutely. Most under the radar, like just amazing. I love it.
Yep.
Scooter, what do you got for an X Factor, buddy?
I'm going to change mine from the K-Gun report because of the Ed Oliver injury. The X factor is not going to be the sacks. It's going to be the pressure, which hopefully that turns into the sacks. But it's the pressure on Mac Jones, who likes to hang on to the ball. That simple. I'm not going to go too much into it because RT already touched on it.
I like it. Nice.
If we see Mac Jones screaming or yelling or crying within like the first, and I say crying, which is like kind of it's like he shows 3 emotions in like 5 seconds. Yeah. If we see that in the first quarter, this is gonna be a blowout. Yeah. That I will say.
Mac's facial expressions are uncomfortable, Mr. Burns, and oh shit. Those are the 3 facial expressions that he has.
Like the meme of the crying, little child. That, he kind of fits that in moments too. I mean, kind of feel sorry for him, but no.
I'd be curious because I think he's done in New England. I think he's gone. I don't know if they're gonna play like this and they're gonna tank out. I kind of have like this dark horse take that he gets traded before Halloween. Like, I don't know who would pick him up. Maybe for some depth, maybe whatever. Maybe somebody's developed something. They see something. He's got some starting time, but I don't know. Like, Billy Boy's got to cut ties with him because he's just hung on too long, and it's basically ruined his career.
Swank. Yeah. Guys, new head coach, new quarterback, right?
I don't know.
There's a lot in the draft this coming year.
Yeah,
there's a lot of good quarterbacks in the draft.
I can see the quarterback. I don't know if they'd let him go. I think they'd let him stay at least one more season and see if they could turn it around. That's my steaming hot pile of crap take right there. My X factor is actually. Sorry. Go ahead, Red. No, go.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say I'd hate to say it, but usually if a quarterback goes, a coach goes too.
Yeah, it's true.
Do I really say that? I don't know. Probably not.
He's got to have some stock in the bank, with the Brady years, but maybe not. Maybe he's used it all up. Who knows? My X factor here goes back to a conversation that's been in the comments. Pass protection, man. That offensive line. A lot of guys. I don't know who it was, if it was Rob or maybe Spin, man. Spin, I think it was you. Said the pass rush last week with the Giants, it wasn't on the O-line. It was more on the tight ends and the RBs blocking. And I could see that, man. I can get behind that take. I think that's going to be crucial for today. Like I said, I want Josh to be comfortable in the pocket. I want him to be able to pick it apart, take his time. I want him to get the ball out quick, but I want him to be able to go through his reads. So my X factor is that O-line and all the pass pro, tight ends, running backs, keeping my boy clean and being able to just make the Patriots day miserable. I want to see Belichick smash a Surface Pro so bad. Just do it again. All right, guys, hit us up in the comments here. We're rolling on 12:10. We're gonna do score predictions, final thoughts, and we're out. We got some stuff to get to. We got some beers to crack. I got some mac and cheese to eat. Let's go. So, Scooter Magooter, what's your score prediction?
I said on K-Gun report, I'm not changing my mind. 35-0. I just think this Mac Jones is going to be frustrated. Our defense is going to create the pressure, and Josh Allen is going to have those 4 touchdowns. So they're going to get everything right tonight.
All right, I like it. Just quick, precise, professional. You're a professional, man. Look at you. RT, what do you got, buddy?
Took me 4 years.
I'm going to go 31-10. The only touchdown I see New England scoring is with Ramondre Stevenson from the 1. Other than that,
Swank would like that because he's forced to play.
I do have him. Yes, I do have him in the fantasy league. I'm playing Nick. I have a good record, and I want to win. But my running backs are weak right now, so it would be nice if he stepped up.
Very much so for the fantasy squad. And I definitely, I think that this is a game that we should win this game.
Yeah.
And the best way to win a game, if you're a fan of the Buffalo Bills and you want to see the Bills win, start fast. And that's what they do successfully. When they do that successfully, rather, they win. And when they don't, that's when things start to get a little suspect. And to be on the edge of our seats last week against the Giants, these guys know that should not have happened. And I do hope that this is not a get-right game. This is a divisional game that they can focus on and hone in on and take it extremely seriously for what it is, because you do have the most accomplished coach on that sideline with a very limited talent team. Great coaching elevates limited talent. So you never know what to expect with these Patriots. And I do believe it'll be close in parts, but Buffalo will pull it out and win it. And I do believe it'll be 35-10.
Nice. Debbie Emerton, 52-6. I love it. Lisa Johns, I can see him watching the game, screaming at the TV. I could have done that, no problem. Hell yeah. For me, man, I'm gonna call it under 30 points scored by the Bills, and it's no diss to the Bills. I just think that this is going to be one of those games that I want to get the clip of my take here for next week and just have it on repeat, because it wasn't like, 74-2. It wasn't any of that crap. I'm thinking 28-3. Still a blowout, still enough, but it's, 4 TDs. It's a solid performance. The defense does what we said we were talking about, and you get to walk out of New England with your chest puffed out a little bit without completely, emptying your bag of tricks. So I'd like to see him do it just with the game plan they got planned, and just to execute. That's what I want. So you guys are killing it in the comments. Viewership throughout this whole episode has just been great. Don't forget, we're part of the Buff Fan Base Network and sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com, buy everything. We're going to run around real quick, do our final thoughts. Scooter, I'm going to start with you. What is your final thought for this evening?
Two quick ones. For those of you who watch the K-Gun Report and Sunday sessions and follow our page, do not forget to hit up 24/7 buffandemonium.com. We have Rob Mullen, Bruce McCullard, the doc, and Kyle Gobe, who's 142 view from 142, a guy that's at the games that are giving you a perspective from there.
Season ticket holder. We got Zach Blaine doing a little bit. We got this guy down here. He does stuff every once in a while.
It's been a while since Ryan. But
been a bit.
Guys,
it's been a bit.
He's a busy man. He's a busy man.
If we see what we need to see today, then it won't be a bit. It'll only be a little bit before I write something.
Right.
I like it.
But where I'm going with this, guys, is it's amazing content, and I'm not saying that because I'm a biased page follower and
which
part
you
of
are.
this page, but it's legit stuff. I mean, it's legit information. The all 22 we touch on, the injuries we touch on, and the fan first perspective we definitely hit on. So don't be shy to that page and hit us up on that. My other final thought is, I don't care how we win. The reality of it, a W is a W. After seeing what the Bills did last week with the Giants and the Eagles, what happened to them and the 49ers, this is the NFL. We take every game seriously. You have to play every week. And I throw out stats. I throw out bold predictions. Just get the W. Bring it home. Let's make the playoffs and make a playoff run. 1 o'clock game. It's the last one till December 31st. Can't wait to see you guys on every one of our shows. Love you guys. Thanks for the support. And go Bills. Let's celebrate at 4 o'clock tonight with a W.
Hell yeah. Nice final thought, dude. That was a final thought. I love it. RT, what do you got, buddy?
Play your game, play to your identity, and the things that we want to see will follow. There is no team in this AFC currently right now that is as talented as this offense and defense. We were top 2 3 years in a row. We know the players. We know what they can do. And most importantly, they know what they can do. So when things don't go well, Bills Mafia, and you're frustrated, I'm just as frustrated as you, but just know that the players that are playing are putting in the work, putting in the preparation this week and every week to try to reach the ultimate result of a win, more wins, higher chance of getting to the Super Bowl, and winning the big game. So 1 week at a time. Last week was last week. This week is this week. Focus on the positive that we talk about it, every week. We got Josh Allen. We're in the Josh Allen era. For a long time, we wondered if this would even happen. And we're in it. We're living in it. And I'm excited for today's game. I think that this is going to be a good one. It's going to be one that will test the Bills in certain ways, of course, as each week does. But I ultimately believe we'll get that W.
I love it. I love it. Great take. Let them know where they can find you too, RT.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Ryan Thomas Take, or X, as they now call it these days. My podcast, the Thomas Take Sports Podcast, is on YouTube Wednesday nights at 8 on the Buffalo Fan Base Podcast Network. I had a lot of people tuning in on Wednesday. It was a great show. Got to hear a lot of emotion, read a lot of emotion in your words, comments, firing comments at me throughout the entire show. I appreciate the support. And you can check it out on the audio podcasting platforms. You're driving into your 9 to 5. You need something to tune into. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. Thomas Take Sports Podcast takes up your drive and informs you on some good information.
And if you have a long drive, just throw in the K-Gun report too while you're at it.
Yeah, you can fit them both.
Do them both, man. Do them both. Hey, listen to RT's podcast and then drive past your job and listen to K-Gun and come back to work. That's the way you do it.
Or drive to work, listen to Thomas Take, and then say, you know what, I'm just going to go home. And on that drive home,
you know what, I'm just going to quit.
I'm just going to quit my job. These guys, maybe I could work with these guys instead.
Hey, man.
We have limited capacity here.
Interns, man. Interns. We'll take any intern. No problem.
Interns, yes.
Guys, thank you so much for the support and the love and keeping this like light and fun, and the takes smart. The comments are never like, so you know what I mean? I don't know. We breed like this family here that is football smart, has fun. You can enjoy it any way that you want to enjoy it, whether you like the color blue or the starting lineup from 1978. It does not matter. We accept all Bills fans here, and it like warms my heart to see the relationships built in the comments and the takes that come in and the opinions in the comments that are heartfelt and thought out and not just a bunch of benign minutia. You guys are on your shit and know what's up and you care. And that's what this is all about. So thank you guys for being a part of this and making it worthwhile to do these shows in the morning, man, and making us part of your regular game day routine. With that being said, you can catch us every game day, an hour and a half before kickoff, for Sunday sessions with myself, RT, and my brother Scooter Magooter. We'll give you your inactives and our takes on the game before kickoff. Also, K-Gun Report every Tuesday night, 8 p.m., anywhere that you stream, any social media account, and you can check that out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that other stuff as well. Remember, man, there was some dry years. There was a long time where we didn't have games like this. We didn't have a team like this. So enjoy every single minute. A win is a win. And let's wash this bag of milk and that horrible thorn of a coach. And go Bills, man.
Oh, man. 1 o'clock game. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Tell Jack to go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstay for it's a different kind of sing. Went off to college, but college turned out me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college turned out me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to sing. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstay for it's a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college turned out me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa. I say, whoa, I am my father's son. Let that fuse and run.